close game, a game where they had to play very particularly well at the end of the game to close out the Hawks, who were surging up and trying to take the win at the end of the game. Very, very good practice for a young rebuilding team to play in a game like this where you have to have, a very dangerous player like Trae Young on the other side, and the Hawks, starting to get a couple things going, but the Raptors close the door and end up winning the game. In particular, Scotty Barnes was very clutch in the way that he carried himself in the fourth quarter, as far as making baskets himself and also getting other people involved in scoring. So this was a level up game for Scotty, and that's why I'm wearing his jersey this morning, is because I feel like Scotty graduated last night to a successful closing out of a game that was close as the clutch player doing the clutch things to help us win in the fourth quarter. In some ways, I've been asking for this earlier in the season, and I finally saw it last night. Scotty hitting a big shot in the lane, Scotty dishing a big basket to this guy, Scotty doing this in the fourth quarter to help carry us to victory. Last night was a fun game. There were some great highlights once again. Dunks, transition stuff is always fun. Grady Dick continues to go at the rim and throw it down. There were some very beautiful lobs. In some ways, the game last night was a good case for Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick to be able to be at All-Star Weekend, whether on their perspective, places they would be. Rising Stars roster for Grady Dick and possibly All-Star roster for Scotty Barnes. They have to continue to mix success with winning, like they have. 4 out of 5 games have been won by the Raptors in the last 5 games. They have to mix star plays like dunks and just highlight reel stuff that gets attention on the NBA highlight reel stuff. And they have to play very well so that they can get the attention and hopefully get invited to All-Star Weekend in their respective events. I really seriously think that it'd be a travesty if Grady Dick was not at the Rising Stars Challenge this year. I think that that's more of a shoe-in than Scott being on the All-Star team. And NBA, you just need to make this happen. Grady Dick needs to be playing on the Rising Stars Challenge. If there's anything that we deserve, it's that for sure. We don't necessarily deserve an All-Star. I get it. But we deserve Grady Dick on the Rising Stars Challenge, Adam Silver. So put him in there in that. I would love to get one of our rookies in there too if we could, but I don't want to push it. Now, Scotty can be All-Star. That'd be awesome. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. I've got the stars of the game. I'm doing 7 stars for the game today. We have a Long Island Nets game today in Montreal. The Raptors 905 playing at 7 o'clock in Montreal against the Long Island Nets. And it will be a home game for the Long Island Nets, not for the Raptors 905, even though the game's in Montreal tonight. Yeah, I have the warm-up set up for that. And we got the classic card, the Instagram stories, and a scout of the day if you guys want a scout of the day today also. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's see what Trevor's saying first. People may have spoken negative things over you, but the good news is people don't determine your future. God does. There you go. There you go. Yeah, people's perceptions of you are going to be their own mind. And in some ways, they're not the reality. They are shaped by their own experience and their own prejudices. So in some ways, that is not a clear-cut, true, a realistic picture of you. In some ways, you're a very complicated person. There's who you are, who you think you are, and who other people think you are. They're all different. They're all very, very different. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. He's saying no Raptors for All-Stars. That's not for sure, Trevor. You guys are getting confused. They just announced the starters yesterday. They did not announce most of the All-Star team. They only announced the first 10. And this is the voted in by the fans starters. And they are, as seen yesterday, SGA, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic on the west side. And then for the eastern side, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. So this is the starters. We didn't miss out on anything, Trevor. No, we didn't. We weren't in the running for this. And I'm not sure why you keep broadcasting this last night and today that we didn't get any All-Stars. The All-Stars have not been announced completely. They've only announced the starting fives, and that's it. So yeah, we can't say that no All-Stars, no Raptors for All-Stars, because we don't know yet. It's not determined yet. Scotty still has a chance. Let's see. I love that we beat the Hawks because I win my challenge. Somebody had to take an ice bag last night. That's what you were saying last night in the Facebook chat. That Trevor J had a friend who was over, him and his wife, at their house watching the game last night, and Trevor gave an ice bucket challenge to this guy that if the Raptors win, he has to get an ice bucket. But if the Raptors lose, Trevor's got to get in the ice bucket. Well, the Raptors won. So Trevor's friend had to get into an ice tub and freeze his butt off. And well, he wasn't willing to take video footage of it because, first of all, the guy's wife forbade it and said, no, there should not be any video footage of this. And Jillian, much to Jillian's chagrin, she really wants to see this man get in a ice tub full of ice for some reason. I don't know why. She's just like that. She just wants to see it. And Trevor's like, no, you ain't gonna see it because the wife is saying no. I don't know if I want to see that, but yeah, it's good that you won the bet, Trevor. Good job, Raptors. So that Trevor didn't have to get in a cold ass ice tub and freeze his butt off. It's not like it ain't freezing already. You don't even need to set up the tub. Just go outside, jump in the yard. I'm sure there's some snow wherever you are, and you could maybe not in Fort Lauderdale, but you jump out in that cold. That might have sufficed. There you go. I love that you won your bet. And that was kind of a hilarious little part of our Facebook chat last night. Trevor talking about his challenge that he made to his friend. And, well, they had to pay up. They had to get in that ice bucket. That's right. Seymour saying, laugh out loud, salute at Trevor J. Yeah, it was silly. It's silly. Little side bets. I like that better than going to MGM bets or Bet Rivers or something like that. Go ahead and bet silly jackass pranks. Like, you're going to get in this, you're going to have this bucket on your head full of worms. Okay, I'll do that if the Raptors win. If the Raptors lose, I'll put the bucket of worms on my head. Okay, putting bets out like that. Seymour saying, I predicted we will win by 9, but I'll take the win by 3. Yeah, that's fantastic. The Raptors did a really good job last night starting the game. They came out of the game and started very professionally and took it to the Hawks immediately, and it was fantastic. In the middle, there were some lapses. There were some problems. People like Bogan Bogdanovic took off and started scoring like crazy and ate up the gap that we had built because we were beating them pretty good the whole game. It was the second night of a back-to-back for Atlanta, and they looked tired during the game. They looked like they were tired out by the Pistons the night before, losing to them. And, well, at times, the energy of the Hawks went up and down. And, well, they were surging up with some energy near the end of the game to really try and close out and win. But the Raptors did a good job on defense and also executing on offense to ensure the victory. Yeah, that was a fun game. It was. I've been enjoying watching the Raptors the last 2 weeks. I'm sure that people have turned them off for the season or not understanding why the games are being won now. Well, it's because we got better. We're healthier and we're more gelled and we're more together as a team. Scotty Barnes is really relishing this time right now. You can tell he's very, very much in the zone as a leader of this team and enjoying the task at hand. The project at hand is an NBA team in a rebuild called the Toronto Raptors. And Scotty gets it. He's been getting a lot of post-game interviews, a lot of in the middle of game interviews, a lot of interviews with Scott. And he's saying all the right things. He's talking about connection. He's talking about gelling. He's talking about feeling good about the team and his teammates and getting more and more better and better and better. And I love that. Scotty is very much a work in progress as a franchise leader and a clutch player. But we saw the signs that he can do this last night. We've always wondered, Scotty, why do you shy away from trying to score the points for the Raptors when we really need them in a close game at the end of the game? Well, last night he did not. And that's something that I want to celebrate today. Scotty took the challenge of helping his team to close out the game last night. He was very successful. And that's a really, really big first step for a player like him in our franchise that we need him to do. So it was really, really good. Really, really good. Trevor J saying that LeBron and Bronny turned down All-Star Skills Challenge to be the first father and son. This is kind of actually very interesting news. I guess there is a limit that LeBron will take as far as promoting his son shamelessly in a way that he probably doesn't deserve it. And it could be very well that LeBron's like, you know what, Bronny's not good enough to be at All-Star doing skills challenge. I'm sorry. You guys are just trying to use this for money. In some ways, I don't want to put him in that situation with the spotlight on him where he can embarrass himself and it make a really, really bad thing. So we're not coming. I mean, I don't blame them. In some ways, I think this is the smart and responsible adult parent decision by LeBron James to say, no, Bronny and I aren't going to do the skills competition because in some ways we don't deserve it. Yeah, that's smart. That's good parenting. In some ways, there is a limit to the amount of promotion that LeBron James will allow Adam Silver to put him and his son into at this point. It's nice to see there is a limit. So there you go. I'm proud of him for making this decision. There's a lot of pressure for them to do this, and LeBron's saying, nope, we ain't doing it. So in some ways, I very much commend him as a father that he decided to do that. I really do commend him. Monique is here. Superfan Mo. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. What a game. Stars of the game. Scotty, RJ, Bruce Brown, Chris Kelly, Yak, Davion, Wade. Yeah, she's got a bunch too, just like me. Way to cut off Trey, Davion, Trey's water. When it matters the most, best thing both teams are winning, locker room happiness. Yeah. I mean, we have been winning a lot lately as an organization. We've got way more wins than losses in 2025 so far, which is fantastic, especially on the 905 level. I like the trend of what's going on with the Raptors. The next task at hand is, can we beat the Hawks in the same settings tomorrow night? That's tough. That is so tough. This team's going to adjust. In some ways, they're going to have the same rest that we're going to have this time. And in some ways, they're going to be hungry to even it out because they are the 500 team. They're literally 500 as of last night, where their natural place is to be. The Atlanta Hawks is a 500 team. This has always been a 500 team. Well, they're in their natural place right now. Well, they're going to be wanting to beat us on Saturday. And it's hard to really beat the same team twice in a row. In some ways, I want to see how the Raptors take that challenge to try and win 2 in a row in Atlanta against the Hawks. That'll be very fun to see. And that, yeah, I'll do my stars of the game. Why not? Monique just did her stars of the game. Let me do mine. My number one star of the game is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes graduated to clutch franchise player last night, being very, very key in important parts of the game. In fact, Scotty got 11 of his 25 points in the fourth quarter. And that's big time. He showed up big in the fourth and carried when we needed him most. In fact, he had a very key basket in the lane that put us ahead in the last couple minutes of the game. And that is clutch. That is clutch. He had clutch shots. He had clutch passes last night. And clutch Scotty is what I am celebrating this morning because I love to see the clutch. 39 minutes for Scotty, 8 of 17 from the field. 1 of 2 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. In fact, the free throw line was a very, very important place for Scott last night. I love how, man, it's crazy. Like, all right, in some ways, the refs were shady. James Williams was shady, just like I thought he would be. In fact, there was that one challenge call that the Hawks won, which was absolute bullshit, when they had DeAndre Hunter wrap his arms around Chris Boucher in a bear hug. And the convoluted excuse Mark Davis gave them from the replay center is that he had his hand on the ball and that it was a fair play on that and not a foul. Yeah, there was some bullshit calls by the refs. At one point, they made Scotty shoot 3 free throws. He made one, but Trae Young walked somewhere or something. And they say, oh, no, you got to reshoot it. Well, he made all 3 of them. There's some bullshit on that. And then also, Scotty had a transition 3. Where he just had a pinky toe, maybe a little bit on the line, and there was ambiguity about whether it was a 2 or a 3-pointer. Yeah, they ended up giving him the 3, by the way, and they stopped the game in the middle of the game. They whistled and say, "Oh, announcement from the replay center: Scotty Barnes' shot at this point in time in the fourth quarter has been determined a 3-pointer," and they added a point to us, 118 to 117, at a certain point. Yeah, it was weird. The officiating was screwy, and they put Scott at the line a lot. And Scotty making his free throws last night was absolutely key for us to win. Some of the other guys weren't as good at the free throw line in some ways, but Scotty was. RJ missing both his free throws, and also Chris missing one of his. But Scotty made all of his except for 2, 80% at the line. That was important. His free throw shooting was very, very important late because he was up there late in the game putting points on our side of things when the game was very close and the time was dwindling off the clock. So good job, Scotty. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, a plus 11 with 25 points in 39 minutes. Not a lot of passing himself, though. That's weird. He only had 3 assists, but I like that he only had 1 turnover. And once again, the other thing that Scott's doing that's amazing on the court that's not in the box sheet is his defense is phenomenal. Just phenomenal. There's some Raptors content creator that put out a thing yesterday touting Scotty Barnes on the down low as one of the best defenders in the league right now. And it is absolutely true. This guy is a stealer, a blocker, a shit disturber, a rebounder, a big body, a hedger, a screen provider, a guy who's just a big physical presence, and he's dogged and gets after it. Mr. 94 feet kind of stuff with guarding people full court and just being a pest in general, guarding the toughest assignment on the other side. Yeah, Scotty, you're graduating and you're elevating your game on a week-to-week basis right now, and I love it. I'm so here for it. I am so here for it, Scott. You keep going. Jakob Poeltl is my second star. Jakob was ugly at times, but he was still a major advantage that the Raptors had last night. I called it in the morning about Jakob being possibly a dominant player in this game in some ways. We found out Clint Capello is going to be out, and that really opened things up for Jakob as far as, the thing that we like to do as an offense is work the ball around to get the best possible shot. And quite often we're working the ball around and it finds itself into the lane in the hands of either Poeltl or Barnes. And those shots, when they're near the basket, are fantastic. We saw Jakob both throw a beautiful lob pass to Grady Dick and also catch a beautiful lob pass from Scotty Barnes early in the game. Those lobs were awesome. That one that Jakob threw to Grady was fantastic. I didn't realize Grady could get up there and get that ball like that. And then the one Scotty threw to him was such a great little role play and fantastic finish by Jakob to go up and get Scotty's pass and be aware of him throwing that. There was some real good connection there. So Jakob, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 3 at the free throw line. And Darko said he didn't worry about Jakob Poeltl at the free throw line late in clutch, that he was going to make his free throws because he knows that when Poeltl is shooting free throws at the end of the game, when they really, really matter, he locks in and he makes sure he makes them. So 3 for 3 at the free throw line. He had some very clutch, important free throws. 3 offensive rebounds, 9 rebounds altogether, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, 17 points for Yak in 28 minutes, a +6. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not a super monster game, but it's solid. And his presence and being the biggest guy on the court mattered last night. Okongwu could not handle him. And Poeltl being an advantage for us, along with the advantage of us being not as tired as them on the back-to-back, those were huge keys to why we won last night. Huge, huge keys. The third star of the game for me in the game last night is Grady Dick. Grady Dick came out blazing, just kicking butt, scoring like crazy. Confidence, Scotty getting him involved early, and Grady just taking it to the hole and getting good aggressive baskets right away. That's the stuff we want to see, Grady. You can't ease yourself into the game. You've got to go and get in the game right away and just kick some butt right off the bat. That's what we want to see. 32 minutes, Grady had 15 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, a +12 though. Grady was just instant offense early, and he got us going in the right direction right away. He was very key to the first quarter and the way that we started the game. He was very, very much the catalyst offensively to get us going and get a lead on the Hawks early. So good job, Grady. Doing a good job out there. You're picking your spots. You may not be in there later in the game for defensive reasons, but you're in there early and you're making things happen offensively to get us going with our scoring. And that's important. That's very, very important for a team that can have trouble scoring sometimes. My fourth star is Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown had one of his better games as a Raptor last night. And I'll tell you, if he keeps doing this, he might get traded. I'm telling you, this guy is ready for anything. He's done a lot of interviews lately. He's made it clear that he's very happy in Toronto. If he stays here, he's happy, but he knows he probably will get traded. Well, Bruce came out there and he looked his best. He looked very competent. He was making a lot of very tricky shots in the lane, like one-handed little floaters. And I loved it. He was very efficient and very effective last night. 20 minutes for Bruce, 8 of 12 off the bench from the field, 1 for 3 from three, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 18 points off the bench for Bruce Brown. The bench scoring's been huge for the Raptors lately. Like Sam Mitchell was saying last night during the game, it's such a luxury to have Kelly Olynyk, Chris Boucher, Jamal Shed, and Bruce Brown off the bench because they're providing very good, fantastic stuff. Like Jack said, it's nice to look down the bench for Darko and see that you have options and choices to make and put in your game. And that's true. That's absolutely true. With a healthy team, there's a lot more choices to make about who's going to be in the rotation, who's going to get minutes than there were about a month ago. So that's fantastic. I love that about that. Bruce, good game. Let's get you traded. Come on, man. My 5th star is RJ. RJ did not score a huge super game, but he on the down low was effective and efficient. RJ shot 6 for 9 from the field. He made all 3 of his threes. The 3-point shots were fantastic. I loved how timely they were, and they were huge shots and helping us with momentum. He missed both his free throws, which is the one eyesore there, and he also had 5 turnovers, which was kind of annoying, where I would have maybe put him up higher. 6 rebounds, though, 3 assists, 2 steals, +5 with 15 points in 36 minutes. The points production is not that great, but he didn't take a whole super ton of shots. So he was very efficient, even though he had turnovers and he missed both his free throws. So RJ was chipping in and doing his part. He scores baskets when we need baskets scored sometimes, just like Grady. That's what I like. I'm giving extra stars, 2 extra stars, so 7 stars today. We'll go to Kelly Olynyk for the next star. Kelly Olynyk has had a badass week. He's been amazing off the bench. He's been providing great threes. He's been providing great defense. He's been providing great leadership and poise and smarts on the court. This whole entire little winning streak that we've been on, 4 out of 5 wins. Kelly in 14 minutes had 11 points, which is fantastic production off the bench and not much time. 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, made all 4 of his free throws, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for Kelly in 14 minutes. So, yeah, he's a hub. 1 steal, 1 turnover. Yeah, just fantastic stuff. 11 points in 14 minutes. How can you hate that? Who says Kelly Olynyk's washed? Who says Kelly Olynyk is not a good NBA player anymore? Y'all are stupid. You're stupid. You can see what he's doing for the Raptors off the bench right now. It's fantastic. He may be a weird in-between player that's not fully a center, not really this, not really that, but he's an NBA player. Let's get it straight. And that guy knows how to play in the NBA, and he's helping us win. And that's all I give a shit about. I don't care about how old he is or anything like that. Kelly Olynyk's a good player. And in some ways, the disrespect shown towards some of our players by some people in our fan nation, they're idiots. And I'm talking about you, Beyond. That's what I'm talking about right now. You're idiots, man. Kelly's a really good player. My final star of the game, 7 star, is Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher off the bench, 17 points in 18 minutes. Another guy who filled up the stat sheet in small minutes. He had 18 minutes. He got 17 points for us. That's fantastic. 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. His threes are amazing. He really did work on his threes so much this last offseason. And his threes are so money. They go up so high, and they have people in his face. He doesn't care. He lofts it, Trey Boucher style, and catapults it right through the net. It's crazy how his threes are going these days. They're amazing. 2 rebounds, 1 steal, minus 11, though. 17 points in 18 minutes for Chris. Yeah, that's really good, man. Our bench has been awesome. Between Kelly, Chris, and Bruce, that's huge bench scoring. That's super, super helping us right now. Honorable mention goes to Davion Mitchell, who in some ways doesn't get picked up on the stats, but his job on Trae Young last night was masterful. He was very much, once again, there's a certain feel to the Raptors lineup at the start of the game when he starts, an organization to the team that is badass. It's on both ends of the court. They're organized on defense in a certain way that they do a really good job starting off defensively. And then on offense, and this is something that Jack and Sam brought up in the announce crew last night, that Davion Mitchell's not looking for his own shot. He's looking to get his teammates off their shots by setting them up. And then in some ways, that's badass. I mean, they said as soon as he got the ball, a loose ball, he gave it straight to RJ. And RJ is ready to do something with it as a better scorer. So Davion, really good job directing his team, and it shows in his plus minus. Davion Mitchell was the highest 17. 1 for 3 from the field, 1 rebound, 2 turnovers, 7-2 assist to turnover ratio. He got 5 fouls also because he's getting in there and he is guarding really closely. So only 2 points for Davion, but that's not where you need to look. When you're talking about Davion Mitchell, go look at Trae Young, 7 for 19 with 3 turnovers, 18 points, 13 assists for Trae Young, limited to under 20 points, Davion Mitchell. Right there, Davion Mitchell. I'm telling you. So honorable mention to Davion for the job he did defensively and organizing our team also. We'll go over the last couple guys real quick. Shed, 17 minutes, 1 for 4 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, minus 14 with 2 points in 17 minutes. And Jacoby got out there for 7 minutes and missed both his shots, had 1 rebound and 4 fouls. So Jacoby had a little bit of a learning experience about getting fouls very quickly in the game last night. But overall, very, very good team performance by the Raptors, who had 7 players in double digits last night. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Trevor Jakes telling us that in the first game in Paris, the Spurs defeated the Indiana Pacers 140-110. Wembanyama very much dominant in this game, much to the delight of the Paris crowd. And yeah, that's what they wanted. I mean, in some ways, they could be script writing this. They could hold down Pascal and Rick Carlisle's team if they wanted to. They want everybody to be so happy and feel good that Victor wins the game there. Yeah, they could do that. Don't think they won't. They did it in the Olympics. Why wouldn't they do it in an NBA regular season game? So when I see something like this, I always think it's fishy. Fishy. Victor's won in France for sure. Okay, that's fishy to me, man. That's always fishy to me. Seymour saying Wembanyama donating a court in his hometown is pretty cool. Giving back is always special. He's a great young man. Don't get it twisted. I like Victor a lot, but I don't like the machine behind him that's trying to make money off of him. That's what I don't like. That's right. Yeah, Victor's awesome. The recent stuff with him going to the park and playing chess with people is so cool. He's just a down-to-earth guy, and I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm very happy that he wears the black and white of the Spurs because, honestly, I want them to win more championships down the road. I'm rooting for Victor Wembanyama and Jeremy Sohan. Yeah, I like that team. I like that team a lot. Seymour saying, I don't care who we play next. We win in that game, too. It's stamped. Well, it's Atlanta again, Seymour. We're going to do a little Groundhog's Day just before Groundhog's Day and do a little, did we just, wait, is this the same day? It's the same day, right? No, we're playing Atlanta again in Atlanta on Saturday night. So exact same settings as last night, just repeat. Yeah, we're going to do that. So we're going to beat them again. Let's see. They're going to adjust. Quinn Snyder's going to try and figure out how to figure out the Raptors in 2 days. And well, let's see if Darko's a step ahead. And he has more tricks up his sleeve. In fact, they asked him. They asked him after the game last night. The reporter for Atlanta asked him. He said, Darko, how did you manage to hold the Hawks off defensively so well in the last minute of the game to win this game last night? They goes, I'm going to play them on Saturday. I can't tell you. That's what he said. Maybe I'll tell you after that game. That's what he said to the reporter last night. There's a reporter, the Atlanta Hawks reporter, say, yeah, could you tell me how you held off the Hawks for the last 2 minutes? Man, they just played their asses off. They played with energy. They blocked. Scotty in particular had a very, very important block at the basket in one of the last possessions for the Hawks. Yeah, and in some ways also the Hawks just missed threes. That was part of it too. Y'all had some open threes and y'all missed them. But yeah, we played very, very good, solid defense at the end and held it all off. And that was not easy. These are the tests and the tribulations and the trials that the young rebuilding Raptors need to learn and get more confidence and understanding of how to do this correctly. The Hawks are a certain level of team. You know, the Thunder are a certain level of team. The Cavs are a certain level of team. But we got to beat those poor teams and mid-level teams to beat the highest level teams down the road. So practicing a close game against a team like the Hawks is great for us in the path of learning how to win close games against a team like the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying right there. Most saying Tank Nation. I'm laughing at y'all. Yeah, Tank Nation, whatever. Tank Nation, Stank Nation. Go be stank somewhere else with your tank. Stank Nation. Stank Nation. Y'all stanking? Y'all be stanking? You stanky butts? Yeah, with your stank culture. Your stank culture. That's what you call them. I'm calling them stank culture now. Stank Nation. Stank Nation. Just take the S off of it. You know what I'm talking about. Tank Nation. Stank Nation. It's Stank Nation. And we don't need stagnation because of Tank Nation. No, we were winning. That's what we're doing. That's right. Let's go, Darko. That's right, Monique. That's right. Laugh it up, Seymour. I love it. Second that. That's right. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and crew. Great win last night. Fantastic win last night. So good. So good. G saying vote, everybody. Well, they can't vote anymore. The voting for the All-Star is over. The last day to vote was on Monday. And, yeah, you can't vote for anything right now. The only thing you can vote for right now, I think, is G League up next game. You can vote for that. But the All-Star voting is over. It ended on Monday. It's been over for like 4 days. And that's why they put the All-Star starters out last night. Because there's no more voting for All-Star right now, unfortunately. Troy Henry's here. Good to see Raptor Freak Troy Henry returning to the chat. How you been, Troy? Good to see you, man. Good morning to the best basketball fam on YouTube, man. Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that, Troy. Been on break since the boys couldn't put a few wins together. There you go. All right, see, we win 4 out of 5, and Raptor Freaks are coming back, just like Troy here. Troy's like, all right, the Raptors are winning again. I'm going to come back to the Raptor Freak channel and check out my family. All right, we're glad to have you back, Troy. This is the thing. We're going to be here no matter what. And, well, I understand. Some people are going to have other things going on. Well, we're winning again. Troy's back. I love it. I love seeing that. Troy, I'm going to give you a dunk for returning to the chat. I feel like I should give you like a Dwayne Johnson. Finally, Troy Henry has come back to the Raptor Freak chat. The millions and millions of Troy Henry's fans. Here we go. There's 3 dunks for you, man. A 3 dunk for you, Troy Henry. Showing up this morning. I love it. All right, let's see. Fiercey's here also. MJ's in the house. Good morning, fam, and happy Friday. I honestly got nervous once Trey started heating up, but we made it all in the learning process. Close out games, whether we lead or trail. Yes, this is so good for us. Seriously, in some ways, the adversity is going to build us stronger. And, yeah, it was dangerous. I'm telling you, I was so happy Trae Young was off for most of the game. Davion Mitchell, thank you. But Bogdanovich came out there. Holy crap. And it's almost like he's like, I see you, Darko, my good friend. I'm going to show you. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Bogdanovich in the last couple of weeks has been kind of showing the signs that he may be done with his NBA career soon because he's been horrible. Well, get him a game against a Serbian coach named Darko Rajakovic, a friend of his, and all of a sudden he has an amazing game for the first time in weeks and weeks. And that's one thing that happened last night. Bogdanovich got it out of the mud individually and started showing up and doing something crazy last night. In fact, he scared the hell out of me in the middle of the game. It wasn't even Trae Young. It was Bogdanovich. 8 for 12 for Bogey off the bench, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 of 5 from free throw, 3 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 23 points. Really, really quick and fast out there. He was playing really smart. And against some of our younger players, he was absolutely outplaying them with his mind as far as knowing what's smart to do here and there. People like Gray and stuff like that. So, yeah, Bogdanovich was the one who really freaked me out. Of course, Trae Young's always a lingering threat. But, man, when he started getting going in the middle of the game, I was like, no, we don't need this. And I knew Darko knew that we really did need Bogdanovich getting going in the game last night. That's for damn sure. No, we did not need to see that. No, we didn't. Fiercely saying, for the All-Stars, I'm happy for SGA and low-key glad Brunson wasn't snubbed this year. But Cat, whatever, fingers crossed. But I have a feeling RJ will be voted in. Yeah, it won't be voted in. It's selection now. And it'll be selected by the coaches. The coaches and players actually vote for who gets on. I don't know if the players do, actually. It's the coaches. And they kind of select who they think should make it. Now, in this case, you know, Scotty or RJ could have a good chance because, you know, the one thing people have to understand is sometimes the coaches decide who they want on the All-Star team by who are the biggest headaches that they have to prepare for around the league. Like, oh, Luka's definitely on the all-star team because he's so annoying to me. Well, Luka's not because he's hurt and he's not going to be available. But I'm just saying that's the way people think. Trae Young, he's definitely an all-star. He's so annoying to plan for. Like, how do we stop him with our defense? That's quite often the criteria that some coaches use for how they select the all-stars. So this could be actually really good for Scotty, because Scotty is the kind of player that coaches have to prepare for and kind of plot and scheme to how they're going to slow him down. So I don't know. I still think it's an outside chance that we get an all-star. I don't think we're going to get one this year, guys. And to be honest, I don't think we deserve one, honestly. If I'm really being honest here and not being a complete homer for the Toronto Raptors like I am, I don't think the Raptors deserve an all-star this year, unfortunately. And it's only really because, well, we have 12 wins, guys. And that's a big, big part of the factoring in right there. Yeah, listen, New York is going to get their shine. They're near the top of the Eastern Conference, and having two starters and the All-Star team, that it's annoying. But hey, at least Joel's not starting. How about that? How about that, Fiercey? If I had to pick my poison, it would either be Anthony Towns or Embiid starting for the Eastern All-Stars. I'd much rather Cat be starting than Joel. I'll say that right there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Fiercey's got RJ on blast. I love it. Star J, All-Star J Barrett. That's right. That's what I want to see. All-Star J Barrett. Fiercey's also saying it, Trevor. Maybe LeBron didn't want to expose Bronny's lack of skills. Whichever the case, good decision to decline. People would have made nasty remarks and scrutinized them. Well, LeBron already knows the environment of the All-Star weekend and how it's very snarky. And there's a lot of like goofy stuff online where people are going to say stuff on social media. And in some ways, that's part of the problem with the All-Star weekend is that it's very social media, like under the magnifying glass. And every little thing that happens at it gets blown out of proportion or talked about. And in some ways, it's annoying for the players. They're already under such scrutiny in NBA games, being watched and how they play and how efficient they are. To have a break, and then they have to go to this place. And in some ways, the All-Star weekend is a place of folly where they could ruin their careers in certain ways by looking bad because of bad dunks in the dunk contest, maybe not playing correctly in the All-Star game and they get embarrassed in it. There's all kinds of ways where they can fall into pitfalls. And LeBron knows this all too well. It's part of the reason why he won't do the dunk contest. So it's like, it's the same kind of thinking. Bronny has too much area to make a fool of himself in this situation. So they're just opting out. That probably makes sense. Nako saying that Scotty outshined Dyson on defense. This was a matchup that happened last night. And thank you, Nako, for bringing this up. Yeah, the Great Barrier Thief. Is that what they were calling him? The Great Barrier Thief. That's a fantastic nickname for Dyson Daniels. He's a weird player. He's very, very aggressive defensively. He has some problems with his game, but man, he's a really good player. There's not a lot of players that do what he does, and he's annoying. And well, Scotty did take the assignment to try and mirror him and mirror his energy coming the other way from the other side, and he did okay at it. In some ways, he was channeling his own Dyson Daniels. Scotty Barnes was with trying to steal and do all that kind of stuff. But he's annoying, man, and y'all really need to watch out with your passing. When Dyson Daniels is on the court, that guy is getting after the ball. He's very quick to get to the ball. And that is a big, huge strength of his game. Yeah, I thought that Scotty was the best player on the court again last night, even if he wasn't necessarily. Well, he was the leading scorer. I believe he was. Didn't he score more than anybody? He scored 25. And Dyson Daniels had 22 and Bogey had 23. So, yeah, Scotty was the best player on the court, scoring-wise and all round. All round, that's right. Mo's saying my mantra every halftime, come out of the halftime strong, and boy, was I happy. Yeah, this is something that Coach Mo would harp on the Raptors if they could get she had their ear. That y'all can't come out and stink up the bed after halftime. And they're thinking about this because they're doing exactly what you want. They did it at the beginning of the game. Well, they're going to try and do it at the third. And Scotty talked about this in his interviews recently. He's saying, yeah, we've worked really hard on thinking about how we start the game in the first and also how we play in the third when we first come back from halftime. That is very much something they're very cognizant and thinking about and very on purposely trying to do their best in these times of the games. And it's been fantastic. It's really leading to a lot of success. So yeah, they were very competent after halftime, very competent at the beginning of the game. And these are good things. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas, dunk champion of this channel. Question: do y'all think what Jimmy is doing to the Heat is worse than what Vince did to the Raptors? This is a very interesting question. You know, in some ways, Jimmy is very out and open about where he is with this. So in some ways, I give him more credit for that than Vince, because Vince was kind of in the shadows doing weird shit, like not jumping on purpose and doing stuff, but still trying to act like he was playing for us. So in some ways, I'd almost kind of wished Vince had just held out instead of half-assed it, and kind of, that kind of pissed me off, because in some ways, look, I look at it as like, all right, a journalist has a journalist's oath to protect sources. A doctor has a Hippocratic oath, which they have to save lives and try and save people. Well, a basketball player has a play at your best level, all costs kind of oath when they get paid so much money in the NBA. That's how I feel. A lot of the players don't feel this way, trust me. But a lot of old players used to, and some players still do to this day. But that's what I say. So, like, I feel like Vince broke that basketball player oath of, I'm going to try my best no matter what. So, in some ways, I would say Vince is worse, because he was still kind of acting like he was trying to play for us when he was on sabotaging us on the down low. So I can't say that Jimmy's worse. Jimmy's up front and saying, yeah, I don't want to play for you guys. I'm getting suspended. He's not there. In some ways, that's not as bad as being in the middle of it still, like Vince was, and just being toxic in the middle of it all still. So that's my own personal opinion. I'm sure Miami Heat fan would tell you that Jimmy's doing is way worse than what Vince Carter did. I'm sure they would tell you that. Most saying the NBA is changing the shot clock for next season. Yeah, I think they're changing the way it looks and where it sits, maybe the shape of it. Either way, that's good. This year has been shot clock problems. Not gonna lie, there's been a lot of times where they stop the game to fix the shot clock because it's not exactly right. So, well, hopefully this new technology will make things easier for them, and there won't be any dumb, abrupt stoppages in play to make sure that the shot clock is calibrated correctly. Because that was happening way too much this season with the Tissot shot clocks. They're just not. So, no, reset it. It's not exactly on the right 10th of a second. Oh, okay. Switch it back, Pat Frere. All right, get it right. Okay, we just wasted 5 minutes and the pace of the game just went out the window because the stupid shot clock's not working right. Yeah, so maybe they do need to switch to shot clocks because they've been malfunctioning a lot this year. Not gonna lie. Fiercely saying at some point there was stoppage of play to say the 2-point was converted to a 3. So weird. Yeah, I can't believe why they called a timeout to do that. That was so weird, James Williams and John Conley and Pat Frere. Why did you guys stop the game just to announce that Scotty's 3 was a 3? You know, you could have just done it at the next dead ball instead of like interrupting the game to say that. I know why they did it. Let's think about this, Fiercey, because it was adding a point total to our total, and they had to add it right then so that everybody was on the same page. If they just flipped the score up while they were playing and nobody said anything, maybe people in the Atlanta arena would be like, what the hell just happened? They just gave an extra point to the Raptors all of a sudden. I don't know. It's a weird situation. I'd never seen that happen before, where they stopped the game just to announce an add-on point for a 3-point shot from earlier. Very, very weird. Very strange. Most saying Paris Olympics coming to Netflix February 18th. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. They got some dumbass documentary on LeBron. They got some dumbass documentary on Jason Tatum. They got some dumbass documentary on Team USA at the Olympics. I don't give a shit about any of that bullshit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. They come out with so many documentaries about basketball all over the place. They're ripping off an open gym concept. And I don't care. I really don't care. I knew they were filming this last year during the Olympics because they capture the great LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and their last hurrah at the Olympics. And they wanted to show the whole thing with Wemby. And that's part of the reason why they had to write the storybook that the USA had to play France in the finals and all that. In some ways, it was all script written. So it's like, why would I watch a movie that I already know the ending to and that was script written before, that I knew the ending to before it even happened? So I had no interest in this whatsoever. Some people may be very excited about it, but I'm not an NBA fan. I'm not a general NBA fan. I don't like LeBron. I don't like Kevin Durant in that kind of way where I'm going to want to watch the stupid ass documentary on Team USA winning the Olympics. It's not exciting. There's no drama. There's no drama. If they had lost, there would have been more drama and be more interesting to watch. But no, it's just Team USA rolling over the whole entire Olympics, including Wemby at the end. It's like, who wants to watch this? There's no kind of drama. There's no build to it. It's just stupid. They're going to be on a boat waving to people during the parade. Okay. Yeah. Who cares? It's a stupid. People in the USA can get all happy about it, but I'm a Canadian and I root for Team Canada. I don't give a shit about Team USA's journey at the Olympics. Fuck that shit. All right, there we go. Scotty got the chain last night. That's right. Scotty got the chain. That's right. He doesn't get it all the time when he deserves it. He definitely deserved it last night. And, they give it to different people all the time. Bruce Brown got it last game. So now Scotty's got it, rightfully so, for last night because he was clutch. And he made us win that game last night. I love it. Randolph saying, winners, blessings, beloved, Raptor Freaks. Most informative gang. Your enemies should never determine your failure or success. After God, you are in control of your destiny. Boom goes a dynamite. You know what? Enemies are weird. And in some ways, you know what? You can have enemies if you want. You don't want enemies. You don't have to have enemies because they don't exist. It really is like, it's not that they're enemies. They're lessons. They're people that teach you stuff. I think even the word enemy is just a silly word because nobody is an enemy. They're just a reflection of you in another person. And if we really got down the roots of interconnectedness of life, whether it's humans, nature, trees, birds, animals, insects, we're all the same in one. So when you put an enemy label on somebody else, it's just something about you don't like about yourself. That's deep right there. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. And blessings to the Phillips family and all the families of the Raptor Freaks out there. That's right. Nako's saying Grady's offense was looking nice, and I thought his defense wasn't bad. He's getting better. He's getting better and better. He's got to be active, and he's got to bulk up, and he'll get better and better. And some of it's just knowledge and learning. The more he learns, the more he can make up for maybe some of the things he can't do athletically by being smart about knowing tendencies and knowing when to go and being in the right place and placement. That can go a long way. If you are not the fastest or strongest defender, it's about being in the right spot at the right place. Yeah, most saying Sam Mitchell was so funny last night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sam was funny. He started right from the start. He started talking about, Jack and Matt, I ain't going to take you golfing because it's cold here. We're going to go get those wings that everybody keeps talking about. Those wings. Now, we talk about those wings on this channel, the James Harden wings. The wings that James got in trouble going to get in Atlanta at Magic City. They're talking about Magic City. And I don't know. People on the broadcast were very coy about it. Who was it? Kia and Kate were like, I want to know where the wings are. Where are the wings? Sam, where are the wings? And Leo wouldn't tell them. In some ways, I don't know. The ladies might want to go to Magic City, guys. Why couldn't you tell them about Magic City on the broadcast last night? Seriously, maybe Kate is like that. Kate's just like, yeah, I'll go to Magic City and get some wings and hang out. Yeah. And then Sam was like acting like Kate Burness was the gatekeeper of the whole thing. He's like, well, is Kate going to allow us to go to All-Star Weekend? And all of a sudden it was like, whoa, what's going on here? Is this like she the dominatrix or something? Like she's telling y'all what y'all can do with your life or something like that? What's going on here with Kate Burness telling them what they can do? Yeah, wings were alluded to the whole entire game. It was silly. And it's like, Matt Devlin, you're a married man. Are you going to Magic City today with Sam Mitchell? Because it's leaving the door open, man, here. Come on now. Jack Armstrong, you down there too? Oh, honey, we're just going to get the wings. Don't worry. We're just going to get the wings. Just like James Harden went to only get the wings, right? Right. Yeah, Magic City getting advertised last night on the down low. And Sam Mitchell's awesome. Sam Mitchell's a very honest person. Says a lot of honest things. Sometimes he pisses me off, though. But most of the time lately, he's making me laugh. And I appreciate you, Sam. I was ready to get you off the broadcast a couple years ago because you're so mean to the Raptors down south. But you're starting to get it. You got to have some respect for us no matter where you are, Sam, whether you're on NBA TV or on TSN. So yeah, man, yeah, he was funny last night. Sam, you were awesome. I'm glad they picked you up and brought you to the game last night. And it's too bad it's so cold that you have to go to Magic City today. It's too bad. It's just too bad. Fiercely saying, Bruce is an enigma. At times, extremely efficient, but at times, weird, silly turnovers. But I must once again give him props on his cutting. It is elite. It pays to run cardio. Laugh out loud. Well, last night was a great game for him to showcase why he's paid $23 million in the NBA. Because honestly, I have been wondering why the hell is this guy getting paid $23 million a year in the NBA? Because they don't seem like he earned it. Well, he showed some skill level last night that shows, yes, I am a professional basketball player in the world, and I have some skills that deserve to be paid millions of dollars a year. There was a bit of that last night. It's like, okay, now he's looking like a pro. Now he's looking like a useful NBA player. Yeah, he was doing that last night. Some of it's the matchup last night was conducive for him to do this. I also think that Bruce is great next to Davion. Like those two guys together as a little pair of backcourt pair for defense are fantastic. And on the down low, he was part of the success of defending Trae Young last night also. Bruce Brown. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really weird. In some ways, you're right. The cuts and the way he was catching passes and laying things up, there was a lot of that by our team. A lot of easy layups from cuts and guys just getting to the basket and getting easy baskets that way. That was fantastic. I love that stuff. Whether it's Grady, RJ, Bruce Brown, yeah, Scotty, any of those guys. They're cutting and getting really easy layups is all good. I love that stuff. Nameless saying, I'm rewatching that badass game right now. There you go, Paisano. There you go. Yeah, there you go. This is what's going on, Nameless. I mean, we're not doing this Stank Nation stuff anymore. No, we ain't Stank Nation. We ain't Tank Nation. No Stank Nation. That's right. Fiercely say, enjoy the game, Nameless. This was a good one. A little bit of suspense, a little bit of messing with you, making you feel a little uneasy at times. There was a lot of this kind of stuff earlier in the season where the Raptors would just flub a game right at the last minute. And everybody like, oh, we were winning the whole game, and then we lost right at the end. Oh, yeah, well, we did those games early in the season. And the Raptors don't want to do those games. Trust me. They want to close the games out and win like they did last night. They just figured it out a little bit more. In particular, Scotty figured it out just a little bit more. Let's go 4. Be great and win the game for the Raptors. That's right. That's right. Carlos here. Morning, Lex and fellow freaks. Feels good to see Scotty's clutch. Great win. I know. Wasn't it so fantastic? It's like he's doing it. He's doing it. Yes, Scotty's doing it. He's being clutch. He's finally showing up for his team right at the end and carrying them home to the victory. Yes. Thank you, Scotty. We were hoping you would show up like this at some point. Yeah. And Carlos saying also he hopes we keep Davion. I do too. I really loved the open gym moment that came out with him yesterday talking about mental health. I'd seen little clips, but there was a whole thing about him talking to the counselor for the Raptors named Dana in the back and getting his head straight and talking about like mental health issues and different times in his life, whether it was in high school or Baylor. And just talking about, coming to the league and having a bunch of money all of a sudden and dealing with that responsibility of having a lot of income all of a sudden and all your family and friends are coming at you in weird ways and like getting them going through all that mentally and trying to figure that out. It's very, very honest, open, upfront clip with Davion Mitchell completely being vulnerable and telling us all about what he's thinking in mental health issues. So fantastic. What a great role model. In the same kind of ilk of DeMar DeRozan and his Above the Noise book and his great, great work in mental health awareness, Davion Mitchell following those footsteps yesterday. He was fantastic in this, man. Most saying Chris being Chris. Yeah, Chris is awesome. Like, it's just like, it's like this shot now, and it's like goes so high up and then woo, right through the net. And the defender's hand is right up in his face, right on him in the corner, and he still launches the three over them and makes it. I love the way Chris is shooting threes right now. It's so much fun. And Davion's on fire. Clamp. That's right, Fiercey. He is a clamp. G saying, I hope we keep Davion too. His defense and scrimmages will help make players better. In fact, this is the crazy thing. This is part of the reason why people are down on IQ right now. IQ's been gone. And we're seeing that we're having success and winning with Davion Mitchell as our starting point guard. Some people are even wondering if IQ is necessary for this team. Let's not get it twisted. Emmanuel Quickly is a very, very talented player who's very, very much a good add-on to our team. Let's just think about this. A couple of years ago, we're saying, I wish we had a Tyrese Maxey kind of player. Well, we do. His name is Emmanuel Quickly, and we do want to still have that kind of player on our team. Trust me. When we get to higher levels of trying to win, Emmanuel's going to be absolutely essential. And there's no reason why we can't have Mitchell and Quickly. So, Masai, make it work. We'd like to keep Davion, but I'm not trying to throw out Emmanuel just because he's hurt and he's not playing for us. Quickly's an amazing player that we will see show up at some point and do amazing things for us in a very high level. Let's just not get it twisted. But a lot of Raptors fans are always saying, we need to get rid of Quickly and get something for his money different because we don't need him. We could start Mitchell at starting point guard and we'd be fine. I don't know. I mean, in some ways they're right, but in some ways it's like, why would you not want a talent like Emmanuel Quickly on your team for sure, Raptors Nation? Because the dude is really good. It's just y'all haven't seen enough of him lately to be reminded of that. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Raptors won 2 straight road wins. Congratulations. 2 straight road wins. Well, we've won 2 straight and a road win. Yeah, that's not 2 straight road wins. But that is the second road win of the year, which is fantastic. It's taken a while. It's been tough. In some ways, that's something that I wanted to happen again, was win on the road again. Well, let's win on the road again on Saturday. And have 3 road wins after another win over the Hawks in Atlanta. That would be fantastic. Yeah, won 4 out of 5 for the first time in the Darko era. Pointed out to him after the game. He was surprised by that. When Savannah Hamilton said, you've won 4 out of 5 for the first time in the Darko era. That means all of last year and this year. This is the first time we've won 4 out of 5. Well, that's a big accomplishment, and that's showing that we are starting to grow in our rebuild already. And that's where the direction we want to keep going in. That's right. Nameless saying, Davion has been an overwhelming success. Let's call a spade a spade. There you go. All right, Nameless. I agree with you. I think he's been fantastic. And I love his dedication to our organization, being at all the 905 games lately. In fact, let's bring up the 905 real quick. Let me do the ref report real quick. Now, they're in Montreal, guys. This game is a Long Island Nets home game, though. So it's Tyler Merkovich is the crew chief once again. Mari Marlowe from Montreal is the referee, and Rachel Rayford is the umpire. We've seen Tyler and Rachel in games just the last game, and Mari was a referee in a game a week or so ago for the Raptors 905. So Raptors 905 at Long Island Nets, but it's not in Long Island. It's in Montreal. These 2 games this weekend. So some Canadian G League games in Montreal for the Long Island Nets against Raptors 905. They'll play again on Sunday also, Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m., the second game in Montreal like this. Now, who do the Long Island Nets have right now? You guys might be shocked about who's on their team right now. Kevin O'Banner is going to be playing for the Long Island Nets. Of course, we cut him and made room for A.J. Lawson. Well, A.J. Lawson's former team is Long Island Nets, and Kevin O'Banner's former team is Raptors 905. Also on the Long Island Nets, they've got Drew Timme from briefly on our summer league team last summer. So Drew Timme's in the center, and they've also got who else is on this team that was of note that I noticed? There were a couple players that I was like, oh, they're on this team, and they're on this team. Oh, Oshai Brissett is on the Long Island Nets also. So you'll see Brissett, former Raptor, Canadian player, on their roster against the 905 today also. So, yeah, Brissett, Timme, and Kevin O'Banner on this team that we're playing today. Long Island Nets, 7 o'clock tip-off. I'll be in the YouTube chat. If you guys are going to be around watching it, I'll join you there. Yeah, this will be good. This will be real, real good. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Carlos saying, Lex, your Darko impression sounds like Gru from the Minions thing. I don't know. Maybe I should do his impression. I don't know. I'm just trying to do something that kind of sounds like him, I guess. So maybe I shouldn't do that. That's what fiercely say. Pascal and Benedict were so triggered. French reporters kept asking them about Victor and his greatness. It was frankly annoying, but they kept their professionalism and answered. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's going to be what it is. If you're going to be in France and Victor Wembanyama is involved, they're just going to kiss his butt like crazy. It was happened at the Olympics last year. Why wouldn't it happen at NBA games there right now? in some ways. It is what it is. At least the Pacers have a couple French speaking players to talk to the press in Maturin and Pascal. Nako saying scout Colin Murray Boyles. He reminds me of Pascal. Okay, Colin Murray Boyles. It sounds like Bill Murray's brother or something like that. Bill Murray has a bunch of brothers. You guys know Jeff Murray or Brian Doyle Murray. Boyles. Colin Murray Boyles. All right, let's see what this guy's all about. Colin Murray Boyles has a Wikipedia. He plays for South Carolina, the Gamecocks. He is 19 years old, and he's from Columbia, South Carolina. 6'7", 231 pounds. He's an SEC all-freshman team from last year. Power forward. All right, Colin Murray Boyles of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's go look at him on the YouTube, and see some highlights. Scout of the Day, brought to you by Gerald, Naco the Nacho, and the Raptors Freak. All right, let's see. Colin Murray Boyles. Okay, Boyles highlights. All right, bear with me. I'm just getting the cue to the thing. Do we want the midseason highlights? We don't want one highlight, one game highlight. Yeah, I guess we'll do the midseason highlights at the top. Here we go. Colin Murray Boyles. He's averaging 16.6 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 2.2 assists. All right, let's see this kid. All right, dribble against Clemson. Oh, nice little turnaround move, and then up and under around the basket. So he's showing some attacking the basket kind of footwork, which is pretty good. Ooh, there's a crazy lob from out of bounds underneath the basket for him to lob it into the basket. So a lob threat on the inbounds, which is crazy. There, he took some contact and he finished with the left hand going through the lane. That's not bad. Let's see. Okay, was that a 3 that he made just now? All right, let me see. All right, is this a defensive play? Because it looks like South Carolina is on defense here. No, that's him. Dribble around. Okay, so he has a little bit of a juke move with a dribble to get around defenders and try and attack the basket. Let's see. Here he is. Okay, was that? Oh, wow. That's a big dunk. All right, get it to the ball to him. He gets a nice lob and easy put in. So he's a pretty good target for into the post against smaller defenders. He looks like he clears space and holds himself pretty good to get a nice target for the pass. Okay, there's a looping weird come around and lay it up. He looks like he's got pretty good strength, like for a power forward already. But he may need more muscle. He's definitely going to need more muscle. Yeah, he's holding guys really well underneath the basket. Like they're fronting him and he's still catching passes to the post over the defender. So there's some interesting stuff here. I don't really see him as like I've only seen like 1 or 2 threes on this highlight. So he's definitely an inside kind of player. He likes to play inside. I like how he's backing people down. Some of the stuff he's doing right here is what Scotty's been doing games with like backing down and turnaround shots. There's a nice little left-handed one-hand dunk. Okay, this is interesting. Now, I feel like it's weird because he doesn't look like he's really jumping. He's very tall and long, but in some ways I feel like he needs to jump higher. I don't know why. I don't know. Colin Murray Boyles is not bad. He's the right position for what I want. He looks like he's got pretty good strength and rebounding. And, he's a lob threat too. So, all right. Yeah, I give him a thumbs up. If the Raptors want to draft this kid from South Carolina, I'd be okay with it. It looks like he's got some scorer mentality, and he's got a nice NBA frame in his body already at 6'7", 6'7" or something. He'll probably be 6'9". They lie when they say they're 6'7". They're actually really 6'9". All right, I've seen enough. Colin Murray Boyles, two thumbs up. I'd draft him. I wouldn't draft him in the top 10, though, I don't think. He's probably looks like a late first rounder to me, is what he looks like to me, Nako. Smooth saying progressive win. Bruce Brown increasing his trade value. I'm happy. Yeah, this is good. I was really worried that Bruce was not going to start looking good. And you could tell he was happy about it too, because he knows he's looked like shit in most ways since he's been a Raptor. And he needs these kind of games, not only for his confidence, but also to build his trade value And just to kind of feel like, okay, yeah, the people that are my naysayers, well, eat it. Look at what I'm doing. And I'm kind of happy that to be eating it on that. Because honestly, I want Bruce to succeed because his success is better for the Raptors in all kinds of ways. So yeah, keep going, Bruce. And it's really, really good. And this is a progressive win. This is a new kind of win that the Raptors had last night against the Hawks. Carlos saying, I love how Scotty really tries on defense. This will differentiate him from his peers. This is totally true. In fact, that was what I was thinking about earlier this week with how he just tries so hard on defense, which is so not necessarily like common in the NBA anymore with the offensive emphasis. And guys were more worried about scoring and getting shots off. Scotty's not like that. And in some ways, that's why he's so special. And that's part of the reason why he's probably going to go further than a lot of other people in the league as far as all around being an amazing NBA player. This is what will make him better than Paulo. This is what will make him better than his peers that are around his draft class and the people he gets compared to. Is that his all around play on both ends, two way. His defense, along with the offensive passing and skills that he has. That's what's going to do it right there. G's saying Kelly and Brown are actually a good duo. I think where they lack in size and athleticism, they make up with it in experience and IQ. Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're right. There's definitely some smart stuff they were doing last night that was very helpful. And Kelly is just savvy. In some ways, you got to understand, Kelly Olynyk is ugly to watch. If you like watching basketball for the aesthetic of how it looks, yeah, sure. Kelly and Jakob would piss you off because they're going to look ugly sometimes. But if you like meat and potatoes, fundamentals of basketball and physicality, that's the other thing. James Williams and them swallowed the whistle for most of the game. And that really benefited players like Kelly and Bruce because they know kind of the boundaries of allowable physical contact when the referees are letting them play with physicalness, because there was a lot of that last night. And Sam Mitchell said, well, if you're going to let them play the game with no physicality, don't switch it up at some point and start getting touchy with the whistle later. And for the most part, I felt like the refs allowed a lot of physicality in the game, FIBA style. And I love that. In some ways, that's way better because you can get some actual defense played. How many times did the Raptors stop the Hawks from scoring last night because of some very heady, like physical stuff? In some games, the referees would have called touch fouls and put the Hawks on the line. But the ref crew last night was letting a lot of physicality go, and I'm very happy about that. It's a much more fun game to play and watch when that is like that. So kudos to James Williams, Pat Frere, and John Conley for that. They're allowing a lot more physicality, and that very much benefited Kelly Olynyk. Let's just put it that way. Nako's saying, does Denver have anything we'd want? I'd want Kelly or Bruce if I was Denver. I don't know. In some ways, Bruce would probably love to come back to Denver and relive his time with them from championship a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I don't know they have. Maybe we get another Jayhawk and get Christian Brune. It would add him with Oshai and Kelly, Grady. That would be pretty interesting right there. Monique saying, love Scotty's interview with Kayla in every which way. Scotty is so savvy with the press at this point. I'm just really proud of his journey there. Having seen him in his rookie year on Twitch, complaining about how he hates doing press and he doesn't like talking to them, he's way more comfortable. And even when things are not totally positive, if we're losing, he handles the press so well at this point. You really have grown a lot, Scott. You've grown as a player. You've grown as a young man. And you've grown as a person in the press with how you deal with the press. You've done such a good job, Scotty. And your enthusiasm about the team and the team connection and being a leader on this team just shines through whenever you take an interview and what you say. And that's really, really been great because he's bought in. He's a real one for the Raptors. He really is, guys. And I'm so happy Scotty's our franchise player right now. Andrew's here, rookie of the year for last year. Andrew is in the house. Morning, folks. Hope everyone is doing well. Scotty's two-way ability is still underrated. Glad Bruce is finally playing like himself. Yeah, Scotty's a true two-way, and he will get more and more accolades because of that, because he's doing twice what some of these other guys are doing around the league. That's right. Nako's saying working with Jimmy would almost be like working with Stanley Kubrick. In maggot I don't want to say that word, talent, but crazy process. Yeah, I don't know if it's like that exactly. Listen, Jimmy's being stupid right now. Listen, Jimmy, man, I had so much respect for you in certain ways, and I don't anymore because in some ways what you're doing is stupid. And Jack Armstrong obviously doesn't like you anymore either because he said, "Yeah, let's not even talk about him." On the announcers said last night. Jack is saying, "Yeah, let's not even bring up Jimmy," is what he said. He's disgusted with him because in some ways it's true. This is the thing. People diss the NBA because they feel like they're a bunch of spoiled, rich prima donnas that don't have to do jack shit to get paid millions of dollars. And Jimmy Butler is not helping that perception. In some ways, him being so it's a very spoiled, rotten kind of way he's acting right now. You're under contract with this team. It's Pat Riley. It's Eric Spoelstra. In some ways, you have a duty to the team that's paying you millions of dollars. But no, you don't feel that. You're going to do this. Okay, players' rights. I get that. I'm signing with you, but you signed a contract, and that's the difference. In some ways, you have the luxury of playing in the NBA, Jimmy Butler. In some ways, you're not respecting that. And that's what's disrespectful to old basketball heads like Jack Armstrong and other people around the league is that you have a contract and you're not owning up to it. And I don't give a shit if people piss you off or this happened or this. You can't be like this. And in some ways, you've already screwed things up so toxically with that team. It's like, yeah, you're making the league look bad, just like Dame Lillard made it look bad that summer, just like Kawhi has made it look bad in the past. These kind of players, when they strong arm like this, in some ways make the league look bad, and it turns fans that aren't that invested in the NBA off. We say, "Oh, look at Jimmy Butler, what a prima donna! That man makes $20 million a year, and he's acting like this. Oh gosh, if I made $20 million, I'd be so happy and feel so lucky." You know, in today's economic climate, people acting like Jimmy Butler acting is just a bad look. Let's just say that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying Jimmy Butler's second suspension will total up in salary loss for this year $3 million that he's losing. Well, he wants to pay that money. It's whatever. In some ways, that's part of it right there. You don't want to kiss their ass. I'll give them kudos for being real and not wanting to kiss the Miami Heat's ass and just kind of go through the motions. But still, at the same time, there's a way to do this, and you're not doing it the right way. They're not doing it the right way. Smooth saying, got to think Jimmy will be traded before the weekend is up. Yeah, well, he better get traded before that deadline, or Miami's just going to have a big headache for the rest of the year. And in some ways, he's screwing up their season right in the middle of it. If the Miami Heat had any chance of doing anything in the playoffs, they needed Jimmy Butler. And now their season's lost. He kind of screwed them over right in the middle of it. He really did in some ways. Let's see. Fiercely saying Charles Barkley trolling Steve Kerr was so funny, saying Tatum is good enough to be an all-star starter, but not an Olympian. Yikes. I didn't see that. Andrew saying, I feel like Jimmy gave them his all, led them to 2 finals appearances, and the Heat just failed to build around him and get any more star talent. But I still think Jimmy's being a bit childish. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, this is not the worst situation you've been in your NBA career. I know that. In some ways, the way that Philadelphia disrespected you by picking Tobias. What about the Minnesota stuff where you got really pissed off at Karl Anthony Towns and the crew there before you left? That was really dysfunctional. Some ways, I don't want to start thinking that you're the person who's the problem in this situation, because in some ways, you've been a good, upstanding kind of NBA player in the years, and people like you. But in some ways, that's going out the window right now. It's going out the window right now. Yeah, he's being a bit childish. Fiercely saying TSN needs to pay attention. Ads for home court advantage while we're playing in Atlanta. What do you mean? TSN needs to pay attention. Ads for home court advantage while we're playing in Atlanta. What? TSN has ads for home court advantage? I don't know. I mean, look, we're going from the beginning of the Raptors, where the graphics were always messed up and they screwed everything up all the time, to this point. I mean, there's going to be some typos. There's going to be some mess ups. I was looking at my certificate from Raptors 905, my first Raptors 905 certificate, and they misspelled the word there on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, development league indeed. Yeah, I don't know. They may just have an ad campaign that they have to run over games, and it has something about home court advantage in it. And even though they're not at home, Smooth saying, I mean, some guys just don't relate to Pat Riley. He's quite abrasive. Yeah, but he's not even he's not even the day-to-day guy. He's the executive. And honestly, he's like the boss. If you have to go talk to him, you're in trouble. I think that Pat Riley is not really in the players' faces regularly. He's only around to managing things, and as a figurehead and the character, it's Spoelstra that they have to deal with every day. So I don't understand this. I mean, Pat Riley's a legend. In some ways, he's bona fide. And young players and young people need to follow him because he knows what he's fucking talking about. That's what I would say. Like when he told Kyle Lowry he needs to lose some weight, Kyle listened to him. He did not like say, "Yeah, Pat Riley's full of shit. Don't talk to me." In some ways, he did at first kind of say that, but honestly, he probably talked to Pat and he's like, he's right. And in some ways, maybe what Pat Riley told Kyle Lowry has allowed him to still be in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Pat Riley has the right to be abrasive. Honestly, he's got enough rings for it. He's got enough success around the NBA that if I was anybody in the NBA, Pat Riley says something, I'm listening to him. I'm not trying to go against him. That's for sure. Cream saying, man, look what reps can do for a team. Bench is clicking. I don't care if we keep Brown and Olynyk. They are stable for our bench. That said, trading them for peak picks or young talent is good as well. I don't know. Well, once again, I don't know why everybody thinks we're trading Kelly. I don't think we're trading Kelly. That's not anywhere in the plans at all. I mean, they've very much made it clear. They said this. I've listened to Masai and Kelly Olynyk, and they're saying that he's planning on retiring as a Raptor. I mean, I pay real close attention to what the coach and the GM and everybody says. And that's why I'm mystified by why everybody thinks Kelly's getting traded, because they very openly said that Kelly's going to stay on the Raptors until he retires from the NBA. So if that doesn't happen, well, I'll be shocked because Masai said himself that he's planning on having Kelly here until he walks away. And I don't know why Raptors fans heard this or not understanding this, but that's what I've heard. And that's the understanding I have. Now, there is a report that came out in the last day saying that everybody is available except for Scotty and Grady, that the only two players that are absolutely not for trade or interest, anybody can have an interest in, are Grady Dick and Scotty Barnes, that anybody else could be moved. I don't know if that's true either. That sounds like bullshit. Some people just make up trade rumors and just say stuff like that. I don't know if that's exactly true. I don't think Jacoby Walters on the trade blog. I don't think RJ is either. So it's like, yeah, you go ahead and think that whoever put that trade rumor out there, it's probably likely true that Scotty and Grady are not being available to people in trade. But I'll bet there's more players in the Raptors that are on that list than you're actually saying right there. I mean, Jamal Shed could be on that list also, considering how good he is already. So let's see. Yeah, reps are really good for a team for sure. I'd like to keep Kelly. I want to trade Bruce. Smooth saying front office told Bruce Brown to show he can still play to trade him for value. That's right. He's got to play better, and he did. He's played better recently. Fantastic. Andrew saying Davion had the highest minus on the team despite only having 2 points. I guess they just really won his minutes. Well, that's what I'm saying. The thing I've noticed, Andrew, is Davion Mitchell's really good at organizing our team. In some ways, it's communication. In some ways, it's his leadership and defensive energy that makes it really easy for the guys to fall in line on defense behind him. And our defense just clicks better. And then even on the offensive end, even though he's not scoring anything, he's facilitating. He's playing as a point guard should, and he's getting his guys easy baskets. So him getting all these assists, even though he's not scoring, setting up people like Grady and Scotty is fantastic. So yeah, Davion's a good look as a starting point guard, even if he's not going to score. Smooth saying, don't fall for this limited sample size of good play for him. You're talking about with Bruce. Well, the thing is, he got 18 points, but he was a plus minus on the court yesterday. So in reverse of Davion Mitchell was the highest plus minus. Bruce Brown was one of the lower plus minuses, even though he scored so well. So we were outscored on the court when Bruce was out there still. So Kareem saying our pipeline is at full capacity. We need to pick a direction because we have players in the G League who need burn. It's already hard for Jacoby to get minutes. Shit, I already missed Mobo's progression. Well, you see it tonight in Montreal. Yeah, let's do a look at the Instagram stories real quick because they're there. There they are. AJ Lawson, Eugene Omoruyi, and Montreal doing a photo shoot as the Canadian guys on the team. We're going to have some special Canadian games in Montreal today. And Dylan Disu with his family celebrating out there. I want you to get healthy and get back on the court, Dylan. There's a thing Davion Mitchell posted. They asked all the Raptors before the game yesterday, which one of the Raptors was most likely to have their desk put out in the hallway by the teacher in grade school. I love this question. And everybody pretty much says either Grady or Davion. And I think overwhelmingly it was Davion. And they all say it's because he talks too much. And he said, yeah, I'll talk back. I'm a clown. I was a clown in school. And yeah, it did happen to me, is what Davion reveals. He said, yeah, they did take my desk and put it out in the hallway in Georgia. So they're right. The person who is most likely to have their desk put out in the hallway by the teacher is Davion Mitchell. Definitely Davion Mitchell. Yeah, everybody said that for the most part. There they are coming in the games. I love seeing Jacoby and Jamal walking in with their rookie bags and holding them up real high for the camera and saying, yeah, we got our rookie bags, so don't get on us for not carrying our rookie bags, our little pink Hello Kitty bags. Yeah, they got them. They got them out there. There's Wubbs doing a drill with Jamal before the game last night. And there's a picture, the same picture. Jamal's posted it himself, too, which is fantastic. There's Matt Devlin before the game with his announced crew of Sam Mitchell and Jack Armstrong and Kayla Gray. And there's an extra gentleman in the picture, a human highlight reel. The announcer for the Hawks, Dominique Wilkins, in the picture with our broadcast crew. And they did a TikTok together. So Dominique's old teammate, Doc Rivers, who's coaching the Milwaukee Bucks, may be cracking on Jack Armstrong for his TikTok dancing, but his former all-star teammate and dunk champion, Dominique Wilkins, is partaking in the TikTok dancing with our announce crew. And they did a Bill Withers song. They sang it, and Sam had the part, and you go. It's so good. It's so funny. Sam was actually really good last night. He did not annoy me. I was really, really happy Sam Mitchell was on the broadcast last night. And Dominique's a legend. I love Dominique Wilkins so much, man. He's so cool. There they are dancing. There's always a Beyonce in the group, and it's Sam Mitchell. Look at Neek. Such a good sport to be out there with our announce crew doing this. Of course, he's friends with Sam, I'm sure. But yeah, look at him doing this, Bill Withers. Come on, Sam Mitchell. Sing your heart out there. So stupid. It's so funny. All right, yeah, let's see. Raptors official admin, anything interesting? Just them warming up, stuff like that. The great victory over the Atlanta Hawks last night. Good stuff. Very, very happy of the defensive effort of the Raptors and also Scotty's clutch endeavors. Very, very, very powerful and awesome. Let's see. Is there anything else? There's just dunks. All right. Eugene Omoruyi's got the weather in Montreal is worse than Toronto, is what he's saying. And he's driving in the snowstorm in Montreal yesterday, and he's declaring the weather in Montreal worse than Toronto. That is Eugene Omoruyi on his Instagram, just so y'all know. DJ Carton posting pictures of him in the Raptors red in the last 2 days. I'm wondering what's going on with DJ. I hope that he's been picked up by another team or something. I only wish you well, Turbo, man. I hate that you've been injured, and that's why you lost your spot on the Raptors. And I just wish you well, DJ Carton. I really do. Emmanuel Quickly's got some friend named Biz. I don't know. He's got some video clip out or something like that. I don't know who this Biz guy is. It is what it is. Toronto Tempo gear on blast on their Instagram, of course. So many hoodies, so many shirts, so many hats, so much gear. Toronto Tempo gear everywhere, all over the place, on everybody. That's right. Who's that? Cheryl Hickey's got the Toronto Tempo on now. Cheryl Hickey from E! Entertainment News. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm Cheryl Hickey, and I've got a Toronto Tempo hoodie on. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's right. All the celebs are rocking the Toronto Tempo. That's right. Get it yourself. Get that Toronto Tempo gear. There's some Grady highlights on his. And Norman Powell's got the Understand the Grind gear. Last day to get 30% off. There's a really cool clip of Norman scoring at the Clippers arena. And then they show up on the screen. He's like 3D. His finger comes out of the scoreboard and is pointing at the crowd. That's so freaky looking. That Intuit Dome has some crazy ass wall screen where Norman Powell can be 3D and his hand pops out of the screen. That's amazing. And also Black History Month. There's a 3 versus 3 tournament that Jamal McGlure's putting on blast. So there you go. There's your Instagram stories real quick. The 905 are in Montreal, and the weather is colder and worse in Quebec than it is in Toronto, according to Eugene Omaroi. There you go. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Andrew saying, I don't mind Jacoby and Mobo in the G League a lot this year. They get more reps. Yeah. Well, Jacoby is not with them. Jacoby is with the main team. Jacoby is in Atlanta, so he's not going to be there. But Jonathan and Jameson and AJ Lawson and Ulrich Shamshay and who's the other? That's those are all of them. Yeah. And they're going to be playing tonight against Long Island Nets. So Jonathan Mobo, Jameson Battle, AJ Lawson, Ulrich Shamshay, those guys are all going to be available tonight in the game for the G League. And meanwhile, Jacoby is in Atlanta, and he won't be playing in G League tonight. So that's kind of where everybody is for today as far as things right now. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. I am on Andrew. Let's see. I don't mind Jacoby and Mobo in the G League a lot this year. They get more reps. The spacing IQ provides is insane. Yeah, that's something we'll be reminded of when IQ returns to the lineup. Davion and IQ, two different point guards, one for his defense and four for his scoring, and for his scoring a Bert. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Yeah, they're different looks. Manuel's more offensive and Davion's more defensive for sure. Nako's saying, is there a Raptors fan that preferred McDaniels over Davion? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, that's the thing that I want to tell Raptors fans is like, look at the way that we capitalized on the Jalen McDaniels trade last year and understand that the Raptors will do something like this around Bruce Brown and the stuff that's going on with us right now. We're going to get something. Trust me. We're going to figure this out. Yeah. Talent? Okay. I'm not totally understanding what you're trying to say, Trevor. Jill's here. Good morning to Miss Moody. Jillian. Morning, freaks. Congrats, Rap. You rocked. There you go. And she's saying, have you guys discussed the possibility of the Raptors getting Bobby Portis? He's not my cup of tea, and I think would be bad for Raptors camaraderie. What do you think? We talked about this for a second the other day when that rumor came up. I think he'd be awesome. I think he'd be great. I don't think that Bobby Portis would be a problem for our team. I think that Bobby Portis is a true professional. And if he was designated to our team all of a sudden in a trade, I think that he'd actually do all right. Because in some ways, he's a very helpful player defensively. And I wouldn't be mad if he was on our team. I don't think he'd be a locker room problem. I don't think he would. I think he'd be a great pro on our team. So I wouldn't worry about it. Carlos saying Banchero might be a better scorer, but I take Scotty all day. Scotty Barnes' two-way play is coming together. Yeah, I agree with this. And that's the difference. In some ways, that was part of how we beat Orlando the other day. Sure, Paulo may have outscored Scotty, but Scotty played a better all-round game at both ends of the floor and getting his teammates involved too. And that is what beats Paulo just being a dominant player as a scorer is, well, Scotty's getting other people involved and making his teammates better along with himself. That's going to beat the Orlando Magic, just like it did earlier this week. That's it right there. Yeah, Bobby will probably get rerouted if we do get him. Maybe. I don't know. In some ways, you guys can speculate all you want. I don't care. If nothing happens, I'll be very happy. If something does happen, hopefully with Bruce Brown, I'll be happy too. I just don't care. When it happens, we'll talk about it. But otherwise, I'm not going to get all bent out of shape or worried about it. It's the same way the players are. The reporters and the fans get way more into trade season than the players and the coaches and me, to be honest. I'm more like the players and the coaches. The trade deadline's annoying. It's a distraction, and I don't want to talk about it. If something happens, then we'll talk about it. But otherwise, this is business as usual. We're playing basketball games. It's a distraction, and I don't give a shit. You keep coming at me with questions about the trade deadline, reporters, the Raptors players, they're like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this. This is something I don't worry about because I have no control over it. And if something happens, well, then something will happen. I'll be ready to move. But, I hate it. I think it's dehumanizing the way that fans and reporters talk to the players about the trade deadline. They've got to understand these are human beings with feelings, and they don't treat them like that in this time of year. In some ways, they're very much assholes about it. I'm not going to partake in that action. No, I'm not. I'm going to respect that these are men that play a sport that get paid for, and they may have to move, but I don't want to speculate or talk about it with glee or be like, ooh, let's hope this happens and this person gets traded and this happens and this. No, fuck all that. Let the people that know how to do the job, and we'll react afterwards. Because I hate this time of year. I really do. I'm like the players and the coaches. This time of year, I could be like, I don't even know it's trade deadline time of the year. I don't care. I don't care. Trades can happen at any time. This is not an extra special time of the year to me. I don't get all ooh like this. Whatever NBA fans that get all ooh about the trade deadline, you're watching the NBA for the wrong reason. You are. If you're all like, ooh, I love the trade deadline time of year. It's the best. I love it. You're not a fucking NBA basketball fan. You're a fucking trade machine idiot. You're not a fan of basketball, the stuff that happens on the court with the ball bouncing in between the lines. You're a speculation ESPN cocksucker is what you are. I don't want to be like that. I don't enjoy this time of year. I don't enjoy the trade deadline time of year, this whole bullshit time. Josh Lewenberg and Michael Grange, y'all may enjoy it. Though it isn't like every year having to deal with the trade deadline, Yaka Pirtle. I don't think about it. I just go to work. I put up shots. I practice my free throws. Oh, but it doesn't bother you? No, I don't care. I can't do anything about it. Why do you ask me this question every year, you idiot? That's how I am about it. I'm the same way about the players and the coaches. Who cares? Let it pass. If something happens, well, we'll deal with it then. But anybody who gets overly excited about, ooh, trade deadline, ooh, you're a nerd. And get a new life. Seriously, get over yourself and find new interests. Trade deadline, ooh, trade deadline, ooh, trade speculation. I love it. You're a dork. Stop. Find some new interests. Please. That's what I tell these people. Seriously, you should be enjoying the game, the beautiful game, the stuff that's happening on the court with Scotty Barnes, a great dick, and not like, ooh, ESPN has this trade rumor up. Ooh, you're not a fan of the basketball. No, you're a fan of speculation and bullshit is what you're a fan of. Is what I say to these people. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Blackhawks saying, big up, Raptor freaks. Good to see you, Neil. Yeah. Hi, Neil. And Blackhawks saying, hey, Mo, how are you enjoying this weather? At least it's a little bit warmer in the last day, but it is insanely cold this week. It is in crazy cold, Blackhawk, for sure. All over, too. It's not like it's much cold, warmer down in Atlanta right now. No, it's not. It's freezing there, too. It's crazy. That's why those men can't golf. That's why they're going to Magic City. Smooth saying, yes, but this generation of players, their own legends, though. The psychology is very different from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I know. But in some ways, if you do it the old school way, like Scotty's doing, in some ways, you're going to be more bona fide and more true and more real because that's the proven way in the history of the sport. LaMelo Ball can be a legend. He could be interesting for his llama-looking, crazy-ass dribbling all over the place, but he's not a good player. And that's the difference. He could be a legend to the young fans, but he's not a good player fundamentally. And that's the difference. Scotty Barnes is a good player fundamentally. He's old school the way he's built and his mentality. Now, I say in the end, that beats out the bullshit, the stuff that people treasure these days. It's just all sizzle, no steak. That's right. I'm about the sizzle. No, I'm about the steak. I'm about the steak, not the sizzle. These young fans can be all about the sizzle, but not me. I'm about the steak. And Scotty Barnes is steak, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Yeah. Mo's saying, love driving the new chair in this weather, Neil. You driving your chair around out in this weather? Get inside, Mo. Don't be out here in this weather right now. This weather is crazy. It is cold. Stay inside. I'm staying inside. I ain't going out there. No, it's crazy out there. Yeah. If I did my stream outside like I've done in the past, I'd be like, I ain't doing that right now. We'll do some streams outside this year, though. Yeah, we will. Carlos saying, I really hope Mobo learns a thing or two from Kelly. Kelly's skill set makes him such a valuable player despite of age. This is what I'm saying. And I knew this as soon as we got Kelly. He's so valuable for a team because he can teach our players dirty tricks. Dirty tricks. Kelly knows all the dirty tricks in the league. How to draw fouls, how to give other guys fouls, how to foul people right, how to stop people, how to, do whatever. He is that kind of player. And those little things are getting passed down to Scotty and Grady and people like that. Jonathan, this is how you do this. Professor Olenik's going to teach you something real quick. I'm telling you, there's a lot of passed down knowledge that comes from Kelly Olynyk in goonish ways. How about that? That's right. Black House saying, you got the chair. Sweet. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution, Neil. And everybody that helped Monique raised money for a brand new chair. It's been awesome. Jill saying, "Yep, Kelly's worthy. Kelly's worthy." Okay, let's see. Fiercely saying, "Sorry, Lex. Want clear? Kate Burness doing ads for home game advantage, but we weren't even playing at home. Oh, that's probably because of advertising or something. They probably had to do something like on that the corporations pay them to do certain things, and they have to do the ad, and the ad has to do with that. I don't know. Or maybe she just flubbed it and said something stupid, talking about home advantage or something. I don't know. Maybe she made a mistake. I don't see the in studio people. I only see the announce crew on at the court, and I don't see Kate and Leo in the league pass. I don't see it. They don't show them, so I don't see this part. Usually, I don't see what they're saying at halftime or anything like that, because they're showing me the halftime show. I'm seeing the dancers on the court and that stuff. So I don't know what she said. Blackhawk saying, "Who is going to the coach's open house this Sunday?" Yeah, Monique is going. That's the only person I know right now. But you should go, Neil, and meet up with her there. I know that she's going to be there with Giants of Africa's Kimberly, who's assistant to Masai Ujiri, and she'll be there with Mose, what she was saying yesterday. So hopefully, Neil, if you go down there, maybe you can meet up with Mo and sit with her and watch the open house with her. I would go, but it's such a weird. I'm so on the fence. I really shouldn't go. I want to, because I've enjoyed that event 2 times in a row. I've gone to the last 2 of them. But in some ways, also, like I said, I'm in a hibernation mode, and I'm just trying to stay out here and stay warm. And getting up real early and trying to drive down there is crazy. But you should go, Neil. You should definitely go. It's such a good event. Highly recommend. You get to see a full Raptors practice. Now, it's going to be weird because they're doing the open house the morning after traveling back from Atlanta. Now, the flight from Atlanta to Toronto isn't that bad, but they'll be getting in kind of late, and they may be kind of weird on Sunday morning after coming back from Atlanta and doing a practice first thing in the morning right away. Of course, the players will show up around 11 and do their practice in front of you guys. They'll have their actual practice in front of that crowd. So it's a very, very good event. Highly recommend. The coach's open house that's going on this Sunday morning. You have to pre-register to go. So you have to find the registration link and put in your information. You can't just show up out of the blue. They won't let you in. So do the pre-registration if you're going, Neil. Make sure. Yeah. Most saying W Stream, W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Let's keep getting better. Limit the comments for Lex. Just helping Lex. I appreciate that. I still got about 20 minutes, and we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's Sunday, and she will be there. So you get on down there. That's right. Let's see. Neil is saying Sam worked on the broadcast because he wasn't giving off cynicism. Yeah, he was a little bit more feisty but fun. It wasn't like he is kind of like putting down the Raptors and saying, "You're exactly right, Neil." That's the problem I have with Sam half the time is like, on our broadcast, he'll say encouraging things, but then he'll be on the USA broadcast and he'll be putting us down like behind our backs. And he'll even say stuff like, "Yeah, Canada is too cold." And I'm like, "Why are you saying that, Sam? You don't need to be touting that side of things." So that's why I had a problem with him. But he's worked on this. In some ways, I think he's heard us, and he's heard kind of the critiques, and he's gotten better about not dissing Canada and the Raptors when he's on American broadcasts, because we can see you when you do those, Sam, and we know when you're doing it. We can tell. We watch you. Raptors Nation's everywhere. We see everything. We see it on the other side. So U.S. broadcasters, take note that Raptors fans are watching y'all, even if we're not supposed to be because we're in Canada. Well, also there's a lot of Raptors fans all over the United States who are in your media market also, just so you know. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying in here. Let's see. All right, he's saying, "I'll see you at the coach's open house," Monique. Awesome. Yeah, y'all definitely link up and hang out together. And if you can, give me a good report on Monday after the event. What y'all saw. If there's anything really interesting of note, definitely let us know. You guys will be our eyes and ears on the floor for the coach's open house this year for the Raptor Freak family. That's right. Carlos saying, "With IQ and Davion, Shed will become a two-way small point guard of the future." Yeah. I mean, I've tried to think about, is Shed going to always just be a backup point guard, or could he possibly become a starting point guard in the NBA? And that's the thing. Some of the early groundwork right now in his rookie year will set him up for possible success in that way. And I'm telling you right now, the things I'm seeing from him, I do see the potential for him to be a starting NBA point guard at some point, but he really has to continue to get better as a shooter. And I like some of the stuff he's been doing offensively when he attacks the basket, and some of the shots that he's making are very high level, kind of layups and floaters in the lane, and that's all stuff that's going to be absolutely essential. What is the ceiling of Jamal Shed? Is he just going to always be a backup point guard, or can he be a starting point guard at some point? We'll have to see. Mike saying McDaniels plus the trade exception from the Siakam trade got Mitchell. There you go. So it's a little bit of McDaniels and the Siakam trade, and Mike's wanting everybody to get this straight and get it clear on everything that's going on with this. Yeah, McDaniels wasn't the asset. So there was a little bit of everything that got that happen in the Vezenkov buyout or not buyout. Just cut up the contract and throw it out and let you walk. Yeah, that was a fantastic deal because that also involved getting Jamal Shed too, right? He was that deal. He was that pick, right? Let's see. Trevor's saying, hopefully Darko gives Orlando Richardson some playing time before 10 days run out. Got out there for 2 minutes, but that may be all he gets. He seems like a nice guy. He's got good size. But, yeah, this is how it is. It's a tough business. You get a 10-day. That's just a foot in the door. It doesn't mean you get to come all the way in the room, though. Doesn't mean you get to come all the way into the room. And Eugene Omoruyi didn't even get to play on the big squad, but he got the payday. He got the payday at least. I don't know. We'll have to see if Orlando gets more burn or the 10-day runs out and he got his tryout, and that's that. Jill's giving me a drink water pause. All right, I like this. All right, let's see. I'm going to do the team stats real quick for the game last night against Atlanta. Let's see how the Raptors did it in the box score. They shot really good last night, 58%. I love how the Raptors in some games this season where they've been successful, they're shooting well over 50%. In the Nick Nurse era, the Raptors shooting over 50% was so rare. Really, really rare. Why did the Raptors never ever shoot that well under Nick Nurse? They didn't really. But we shot 58% last night. And I really think that's just cultivated from Darko's offensive system that looks for the best shot possible, a really smart shot selection off of passing it around and getting the best percentage shot. Well, 58% is what they're going to shoot at the end of it. They got 6 more shot attempts than us, but they shot 10 percentage points worse at 48%. And that's a big difference in the game last night. They made more threes than us, 4 more threes, but we shot a higher percentage from three, 43% from three for us. They got more free throw opportunities than us. There was a little home cooking. James Williams wasn't totally fair. He pissed me off at times last night. Pat Frere was good for the most part, but James Williams was a problem. They got 6 more free throw attempts, and we shot better at the free throw line, though, about 80% from the free throw line for the Raptors. We out-rebounded them by 3, which was huge. The assists, 32 assists is fantastic. Darko's going to be paying a lot of money at the end of the season with all these assists. Turnovers. There was a problem here, and Darko brought this up after the game. He said, most games like this where you have 19 turnovers, he said 19. Well, they adjusted it. We have 20 this morning. Most games where you have 20 turnover in a game, you're not going to win. And we're lucky that we figured out a way to win this game last night by shooting really well and passing the ball really well. Despite the turnovers. 20 turnovers was not good. And Darko made light of this after the game, saying that this is not something he wants and that we're very lucky we won considering we had so many turnovers last night, is what he's saying. Points in the paint, we dominated. 68 points in the paint to 56 for them. Yeah, they called 5 more fouls on us. So the ref crew was mostly okay. We won, but there was some shadiness with the refs. There was, definitely. Carlos saying, I low-key want to keep Bruce Brown now. Shows how fickle I am. Nah, I don't want him still. In some ways, it's like, look, he's undersized no any way you slice it. He's just undersized. And in some ways, I don't want a guy like him to be one of the important bench players that's undersized like that. He is really a piece for a team that's about to win a championship again. He's not a team piece for a rebuilding team like us. And that's why he needs to move. He needs to move. And in some ways, I'm not fickle like this. I'm saying the whole time, let's just trade him. Let's just trade him. I don't care. I don't care. Jill's saying Bruce Brown is now shining because Raptors are shining. I understand better now why peeps think he needs more of a playoff team. Yeah, it's just that he's enhanced. Enhanced by better players around him at a higher level. When you have young players that are struggling, he doesn't get as many opportunities to shine in that environment, and that's part of it right there. Carlos saying 100% players right now don't know how to foul players right. Too many and ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that was one of the things that you should learn. Like Kelly could teach our young guys how to grab the arms in the right way so that they absolutely do not convert the shot if you are going to foul them. You know, there's intentional fouls, there's touch fouls, there's accidental fouls. Now, in some ways, if you're going to commit to fouling somebody because you know they got the mismatch on you and they're going to score, you want to grab both their arms and hold them in a bear hug so that they cannot possibly convert the shot and get the N1. And you're exactly right. It's crazy how many fundamental rules are broken on an everyday basis in the NBA that were rules that were taught when we were younger that you never, ever do. Cardinal sins, like saving the ball underneath your own basket. Well, one they talked about last night, how Grady jumps in the air before he decides what he's going to do. That's a big, huge no-no, and it's a unfundamental thing to leave your feet without deciding and then passing it or shooting it. You're going to get travels. So there's a lot of unfundamental things going on out on the court that just mystify an old basketball head like me, because it's not like these fundamentals were like a thing of times or anything. No, these were the basic structures of the game that everybody understood. And if you were trained properly in basketball, you learned and you didn't do them. But it's not getting taught to the young people, obviously, because there's some very, very like cardinal sin kind of unfundamental things happening on basketball courts these days. Whether it's saving it underneath their own basket, whether it's jumping in the air before understanding what you're going to do and how, you know, where you're going to pass or whatever. That's a really bad habit that Grady has that he needs to change. And if there's Scotty does it too sometimes from time to time. And that's what I'm saying right there. It's crazy. I don't know why they're not getting trained that this is stuff you shouldn't do on the basketball court. Like the saving underneath the baskets really burned teams this year. I've seen it in a bunch of games, all kinds of teams doing it, and they're getting burned left and right because of a stupid save underneath your own basket. That's a big cardinal sin. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's right. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Most saying, going to games, Lex, I have to. I'm wearing layers. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, I know you're going to games, and that's why you're outside. But, yeah, I would be like, yeah, don't be riding around just for fun out there. Just only when you're going to the game. It's like, I don't want Monique out in her neighborhood riding around in this -20 weather, man. That's just not good. I get it. She's out there because she's got to go to the game. That's right. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Scotty Barnes has got to realize every possession is crucial. Can't wait to see his progression to that level. He's getting it. It's clicking more and more, Wayne. You can see it literally clicking in his brain a little bit more and more every single game he's out there. I'm totally with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. Shir Khan's here. Let's see what he's saying. 2 moments that won the game for the Raps. Right at the end when Atlanta had to take a timeout because no one was open, and the closeout by Scotty to force a tough shot. That was really impressive. The inbounds defense with Jakob on the inbounder and how they had to call a timeout, Dyson Daniels, because they couldn't get a clear pass in, and that was really suffocating defense. When this team is locked in together and they're communicating and they're really at it, they are really stifling as a defensive team, the Raptors. And that was awesome. And totally, that play, Shirkan, where Scotty met the Atlanta player at the basket and stopped a sure basket with a block was huge. And there were a couple of strips and blocks by the Raptors that were not called as fouls, which was fantastic. Thank you, referees, for letting physicality happen in the game last night. In some ways, that benefited the Raptors a lot. Yeah, I think the Scotty Barnes make in the lane, that last shot that he made in the lane was huge. It was kind of the dagger shot, and then the free throws were really important too. All right, let's do the classic card. As Trevor is saying this. That's right. You love my name. You love my name. All right, let's see. We're getting the classic card of the day. Let's see if it's classic or not. Okay, we'll do this one. This one's a little shiny and weird. All right, first person to write the full name answer in the chat will get the classic card points. So who is it? Here we go. Who is that? Can you tell who that is from there? Or do I need to bring it in closer? It's a shiny mosaic card. So yeah, it may be easy to figure out. Panini Mosaic or whatever. What is that? Who is that? There you go. Andrew knows. That's Yusuf Nurkic, and it is the Phoenix Suns Yusuf Nurkic card, isn't it? No, that's Trailblazers card. Never mind. That's not a Suns card. That's a Trailblazers card. Yeah, Yusuf Nurkic, and you even spelled it right, Andrew. So I'm gonna give you big time points for that. So it's just 100 though. It's just 100. Yeah, Fiercey, you're a little off with your spelling, but Andrew got it for sure. There's the big man from Phoenix. Nens looked away right when the classic card came up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nens. I'm sorry. Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, and that is Andrew. Andrew got it today, and he's getting it 100 points. 100 points for Andrew for Yusuf Nurkic. Good job on the classic card. What did Monique say about Trevor? The only thing that bothered me down the stretch, turnovers and Trevor losing hope. Well, Trevor was worried, Monique, that he was going to have to get in an ice bath. He was a little bit worried. He had some personal stakes involved in the game last night, and he didn't want to be put on ice like his friend had to. And Jillian was a little too giddy about wanting to see the footage. Jillian was like, yeah, let me see, Trevor. I want to see your friend. Get in there. Was it like getting in there naked? Probably not. But this is like, yeah, Jill, what's up with that? You're like, yeah, I want to see. I was like, but yeah, that's why he was losing hope. He's worried he was going to have to get into an ice bath. And Trevor did not want to do that. He did not want to do that. It was funny. Yeah, that's right. Fiercely saying physicality is great. Good old basketball. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm an old school guy. And watching the Raptors play in these games, like not only that, like they were talking about in the announce crew was saying, Sam Mitchell and Jack Armstrong saying, isn't it nice to watch a game where they actually work the ball inside and have teamwork and they're playing off each other? This is like the basketball game we enjoy watching instead of this 3-point barrage weirdness that the NBA has become. And in some ways, because of the way the game was last night, it was enjoyable to watch. And, Sam Mitchell and Jack Armstrong were noting that. And I totally get what they're saying. I'm with it. On that. Yeah, there you go. Good job, Andrew, on the classic card of the day. All right, let me just go over my tabs. We do have a little bit more to do. Just real quick. Did the Instagram. Yeah, we already talked about that. There's a birthday today, guys. Happy birthday to former Toronto Raptors head coach Kevin O'Neill. That's right. Kevin O'Neill was not one of our most successful Raptors head coaches. He's turning 68 today. So happy 68th birthday to Kevin O'Neill. Y'all, he's born American, but did you guys know that Kevin O'Neill went to university at McGill in Montreal? And that is part of the reason why he ended up getting hired as the head coach of the Raptors when he did in the mid-2000s. That, he actually was a basketball player on McGill back in the day. So happy birthday to former Raptors coach Kevin O'Neill. Not one of the better Raptors coaches, that's for sure. He had a pretty bad record, but still a part of our history in our 30-year anniversary. So happy birthday, Coach O'Neill, on your birthday today. That's right. All right, let me see what else we got. There's a new Kensington Variety VIP Club show out if you want to watch it in the channel here. Kensington Variety VIP episode 11 of season 9, Neighborhood is what it's called. And I'm talking to the neighborhood folks on Free Can Friday and giving out the free cans. All right, let's do a rundown real quick. Raptors beat the Atlanta Hawks in the first of 2 games in Atlanta. They will play them again tomorrow. I'll have the preview tomorrow morning for this game. Good job by the Raptors starting the game and also in the third quarter doing a good job and then holding them off at the end of the game. It's crazy because if you look at the box score, the Raptors only won the first quarter. The Hawks outscored the Raptors all 3 of the last 3 quarters. But the 10-point lead in the first quarter really paid off, and they still won by 3 at the end of the game. So that's big time. The Hawks actually outscored us all 3 other quarters than the first. My 7 stars of the game for the Raptors win are Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, Bruce Brown, RJ Barrett, Kelly Olynyk, and Chris Boucher. The referees for tonight's game in Montreal, Raptors 905 at Long Island Nets, Tyler Merkovich, Mari Malo, and Rachel Rayford will be the referees at 7 o'clock, a Montreal G League game being held over there. So y'all join me tonight in the chat on the YouTube to see that. All right, let's see. That's it, y'all. You got a fantasy team, go ahead and play it. Get your team set up. And, scouting Colin Murray Boyles today. Not a bad power forward. Looks like a strong kid. A nice lob threat of South Carolina. Go 905. There you go. There's Shamshay. That's right, Nins. Let's go 905. All Shamshay show. Let's see what's happening down there. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Great job, Raptors. You 4 out of 5. People are always guessing. What's going on with those Raptors? Why aren't they losing? What's going on? We're Stank Nation. We want to be stank. No, we don't. We want to win. So shut up, Stank Nation. We ain't trying to stank. So go on with your stankness and go stank somewhere else. That's right. I'm going to just think that Stank Nation is a bunch of flatulent jerks that want to tank our team. I want to tank more. And they like fart all the time. Stank Nation. That's what I'm calling y'all now. Y'all are Stank Nation because you stank with your views on what the Raptors are supposed to do. And that's what I'm going to say right there. That's right. Stank Nation. Y'all are gross with your gross stankness. We win it. Get in the car. Come on with us. Don't questions. No questions. Just get in the car. We're going with W's. Let's go. You just lost the Raptors, Atlanta. You're going to lose again on Saturday. Let's go, Raptors. Stank Nation. Ooh, Justin, you're gross, man. I didn't know you were in Stank Nation. You better get out of Stank Nation, son. I ain't having it.